Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to talk about failure. Welcome to day 11. I'm going to start today's video by talking about failure through the lens of a progressive educator. So computer science is my undergrad, and because we teach to our strengths, teaching kids to code is something I've been doing in my classroom for the last 15 years. But what I learned from this experience is that when kids learn to code, it almost never works the first time through, challenging us educators to redefine what it means to fail at school. The term debugging was introduced in computer land, just like proofreading, in the arts. It means to actually find your mistakes and make them better. So I never understood giving kids formulas and dates and spelling words and asking them to memorize. It didn't make sense to me that we would punish kids for failing at school, keep them in at recess, ask them to repeat a process, but not really give them any guidance on what to do next. And those assessments around knowledge and understanding, well, it challenges students' ability to actually memorize, not to solve problems. Okay, but we're not here to talk about education. But I have to frame the concept of failure as a learning tool that's good and not something that's bad. Now, I know we don't celebrate failure in industry. You don't want to fail in your job. But the idea of taking risks and learning from the mistakes and the hurdles you've met along the way, that's in part a massive part of the design thinking process, 101. One of the big reasons I actually left education was the report cards. They were just driving me absolutely crazy. The thought of having to quantify a student's thoughts into a numeric value based on something so abstract like their ideas doesn't make any sense in the 21st century. Okay, real estate. So in May of 2022, we took a massive gamble and purchased a $400,000 flip house. We have to knock a few key terms off the bat. So number one, BRRRR, that's buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat. It's a strategy real estate investors use to grow their portfolio. The next term we have to define is equity. That means the gap between how much your property is worth and how much you owe on it. So in May of 2022, after successfully burring 4 really tiny cottages along this shoreline, we thought it would be wise to go to a bigger, better project located in town 10 minutes away. The house seemed like an ideal investment, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, listed at $399,000. As I reflect back on the process today, 8-9 months since we've sort of closed that loop, I want to share with you just what happened. I'm not going to define this project as success or failure. It just was. And here's what happened. Going with a lot of emotions was our first big mistake. After successfully flipping 4 tiny cottages in 2021, early 2022, we decided to get into a bigger property. We thought bigger purchase price meant more room to renovate, and a hot market meant bigger profit margins. Well, that wasn't the case, and we'll get to that. Now, because we paid asking price for this place, it wasn't a steal right from the beginning. So we paid $400,000 for a 3-bed, 2-bathroom property located in town that needs a little bit of work. In order to pull the funds together quickly to avoid a financing clause, we had to go with a bit of a poor mortgage product. It had a variable interest rate and it was a little bit higher than what we were used to. So that's our first criteria that I want to mention. With our small garage projects, we don't carry a monthly expense like a mortgage. All of our places have property taxes, but our tiny ones are all funded with cash and don't carry a mortgage. Number 2, because the market was still hot in the spring of 2022, we wanted to come in aggressively with a strong offer and a quick closing date, and in our minds, this project had a 3-month time frame. That meant we closed in May, June, July, and we were ready to flip August, September for the back-to-school season. But what happened that summer is the market began to cool. So let's touch on that point right from the beginning. We bought a little bit high in a market we expected to continue to climb, but that didn't happen. The market started to cool, so the price we paid that we already thought was a little bit high at the beginning became that much higher. We also gave ourselves 3 months to complete this project, and because the market was hot, we didn't perform a house inspection. We'd done this so many times, we knew what to look for. But in this case, there was water coming in through a chimney that was so bad, nobody could see it. So our 3-month project ended up lasting 15 months with a monthly mortgage payment. We had expected to have 12 months of capital from this project, but we ended up going into 12 months of debt. Let's elaborate. So not only were we 12 months past the date, that meant more costs with expenses, more building material costs, more costs for contractors, just costs of doing business is going to be significantly higher. Now, the Bank of Canada also increased the interest rate during that summer. When interest rates go up, people borrow less. That means the market changes. That means the market changes from a seller's market to a buyer's market. So almost overnight, we bought this house in a hot market at the end of May in 2022, and it felt like June 1st, the market cooled. We went from bid wars to no offers. So by now, so 12 months into the project, we're over budget on time, we're over budget on expenses, but our monthly mortgage payment also started to climb because we had the variable interest rate. So our monthly costs of sitting on the property also started to climb. So now you've got this project that is gradually getting more expensive every day without an endpoint in sight, and it's just starting to get more and more and more stressful. October 2023, we finally got an offer we were looking for. We actually listed the place at $599. I knew it was a little high. In full transparency, we paid $400,000. We spent $150,000, bringing the project to $550. We listed at $599. When you deduct realtor commissions, there's nothing left. Not only did we not get the $550, the best offer was $530, and it came with conditions. So take it from me, don't let your emotions get in the way, because we thought, hot market, this is gonna go on forever, and it didn't. It fizzled out almost overnight, and we ended up breaking even on a $500,000 project. I don't think we broke even. We just tell people we do. It was a financial loss. Not by much, but it was a financial loss. Well, I'm gonna put on my progressive educator brain here hat again, because financially, it was a loss, but I'm not going to sit in that space and dwell. See, I've seen far too many of my students look past what they've learned and focus solely on that number we provide them. You know, how do you tell a student their best work is a C+? That's crushing. So let's talk about where we won with this failed project. Number one, you can't put a price on education. So if I remove money from the equation, oh my goodness, did we learn a ton over 15 months. There are things we will never repeat, never do again, and we now know other big look-fors moving forward. Number two, new dominoes fell, giving us new perspective, because now we're able to make different predictions based on different moving parts within some of these big projects. We never anticipated all the water damage we ended up seeing. And we posted the videos here. Some of y'all have been following those from a few years ago. Number two, and I'm grabbing at straws because financially there wasn't really any money made, but everything was put on credit. So our credit scores are phenomenal, and we have free groceries for at least 2 years just from the points. Now, if I were to take this experience and I were to equate it to my own high school experience, it would be like giving the same house to the same group of people, expecting them to flip it again over the next 12 months, but better. That's what it means to repeat a high school class when students fail. And doing anything time and time again, but expecting a different result, that's the definition of insanity. I'm jumping all over the place, but I forgot another negative of the 3-bed, 2-bath is we priced ourselves out of the rental market. The house was too big to hold a tenant in this community. It wasn't affordable for a tenant. It could only be a flip. and to a family starting out just due to its size. When we stick to these tiny house cabins, sky's the limit with what you want to do with them. So I've been bragging all week about leveraging the bank to win, borrowing the bank's money to get ahead. This was an example where the bank won, we lost. But as I also said this week, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And the truth is, we never learn anything being perfect all the time. So if you're still here, please hit the like button. Consider subscribing if you want to learn more about our journey in real estate investing and financial freedom on this shoreline. I think I'm going to end the video here. As always, peace and love from Canada's most southern mainland shoreline. Give somebody close to you a hug, tell them they matter. Don't forget you matter. Catch y'all on the next one.